I'm going to show you just some tips about designing a personal logo today. And so the first one is I'm going to design for me. And so I'm going to take my initials. All right, so I'll get the text tool. And I've got the text tool selected. I'm going to create a new layer so I don't have to use the background layer. And I'm just going to type my initials in here. And I don't really care for the new way the text tool shows up with all this random text automatically, but I'm going to go ahead and type my first initial and I'll leave that the way it is, and then I'll switch over. I'm going to make a new layer and type in my second initial, and this one I think I'm going to make capitalized. You know what, I'll make this one lowercase as well, and I'll just adjust the size as I need it or as I want it. So now I've got, the reason I put them on two different layers is because I can move them around individually now. And what I would want to do next is I'm going to go ahead and select this and then see what different fonts I might want to use. So if I mouse over a font, it'll show me what that font is. So I'm going to try this one, and then I'll do the same thing with this layer. I want to point out too the difference between here, my cursor with that, when I have the text tool selected, I have that dotted line box around the cursor icon. If I put that close enough to the Z, then that goes away. So the difference in those two things is if I click here with the dotted line border around that icon, it's going to create a new layer, a new text layer for me to type in. If I click here, it's going to allow me to edit this existing layer. Okay, so that's an important thing to notice as you are working with the text tool and trying to edit text. All right, so this so far is decent. I'm going to go ahead and adjust the size of these. Got these at 400 pixels already. That's awfully big, but I'm going to just double that to 800, and I'll do the same with the J. Just take that up to 800. Okay, so now I have these two letters, my initials here, and I can go with different fonts. I can choose different fonts that make them look different. I can stick with this font, and there are these fonts the way that they are. But what I want to do is try to find some way to make these look like nothing else, to make them unique. And right now it just doesn't cut it because I've got just a standard font that I found in my font list. I'm just going to get these down closer to the center of the page. Those pink lines help me. So I'm going to go and create a new layer. I actually want this layer to be underneath the text. And with this layer, I'm going to make a rounded rectangle tool, or a rounded rectangle, using a rounded rectangle tool. And I'm going to make a shape like that. So right now I've got a fill color of white and a stroke color of orange. I'm going to take the stroke color off and then change the fill color of white. I actually don't mind that orange, so let me stick with that for a second. Although with the black text that's too much like Halloween, so let's see if one of these greens will be better. I liked the first green. So I'm going to stick with this green, and I need to adjust this a little bit. I just need to move it. Okay, so there, it's in the spot. I intentionally left the dot over the J outside of the box. That was on purpose. And so this isn't terrible, having the dot out there, but I think I want to do this a little bit differently. So I'm going to stay with this rectangle tool, this rounded rectangle, and I think I want to go into properties. I want to change let's add a stroke to it. Oh, here it is. Didn't look like it. I'm going to change this from 10. Here, let me fix this again. I'm going to change this from 10 pixels to 25. And those should be all connected. So they all changed, and that just adjusted the curve of the corners here. So now when I let that loose, you can see I've got a curve there. I actually want to select that again, and I'm going to change this to a simple black. Is this simple black? And then I'll change the text. And again, I'm just using the cursor to know whether I've got that or not. Got that letter because I can't see them right now. I'm going to change this to white. And then I'll switch on I'll change this to white. Alright, so I've got that. But now I've lost my dot over the J, and so I want to be able to get that back. And I don't really need to get it back, but what I do need to do is add it back in, because I can't make it a separate color from the J, and because it's out on a white background, I'm going to have to do that a little bit differently. So I'll just make a new layer, which I did. I'm going to use the marquee tool, and I'll just click and hold. I'll hold the shift key while I click and drag. And that seems to be about the right size. So I'll leave that there and then go into my paint bucket and just paint that black. Deselect. Oops, accidentally clicked with the paint bucket again. And so now I have a logo that has kind of a purpose, right? Like I've put in a little bit of work to it. Now, full disclosure, I had done this logo years ago, and so I had an idea of what I was going for. And so, you know, getting the concept of what I wanted to do wasn't as difficult, but, you know, I've made some decisions about what I would want to do with my name. Now, if I didn't have an idea, let's go ahead and get a new one here. If I didn't have an idea, I might start with my initials. Let's go ahead and type in a J. I can't see that because it's white on white, but I can fix that. So I might start with a J for my first initial, and before I even bother putting in the Z, I might try to find the font that I would want to use for the J, and then add the Z in later. And if the Z doesn't work with that font, then I can adjust them both at that point. So let's say I wanted to use Skia, whatever this one is. So now I've got this J, and I can make a new layer. Put in my Z. Again, I'm using capitals for these this time. I used lowercase the last time. But with these, then I would want to make sure that they were aligned at the top, which I'm trying to do right now. It doesn't want to jump the right way. So lock in, but if I use the arrow keys on my keyboard, I can get that closer. And then I can use things like, I can use the arrow keys to adjust the layout of this as far as the closeness between these two letters. If I zoom in, I can see that what I have is was not exactly aligned, but I can fix that by zooming in, and then I'll just zoom out. So now I can see how those two align. And now I have kind of an interesting shape, a single line, one curve. It looks like one cohesive thing. I wouldn't want to leave it this way, but I might add something similar to what I had done before. Maybe in this case, instead of a rounded rectangle, I could use a polygon. Here I've got 5 sides. By the way, this is a little different than the version that we have at school for a couple of reasons. One is I am on a Mac. Let's see. That didn't want to turn the way I wanted it. So I'm on a Mac at home, and the version is a little older than what we have at school. So I can place the star, and I don't particularly like that way, but I might want it more like that. Just to give it something different and unusual to make it unique. So that's all there really is to creating a decent logo. You might want to add stuff to it, you might want to take stuff away, but remember, it should always have this negative space on the outside. It should never take up the full amount of area. It doesn't need to do that. Remember, a logo would be something that you would use in multiple places, so it needs to be able to be scaled to very small and also expanded to very large in case it needed to be used in any of those situations that required it.